Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite video. Now tonight's video is going to be a tips and tricks video, and this one's going to be similar to my other ones but a little bit different because I'm basically going to be breaking down the game into early, mid, and late game. 3 sections. I've done this before, but I'm going to be talking about your options on how you want to play each section of the game because, you know, when you're making tips and tricks videos, it's very general, but a lot of people like to play different styles. I'm sure there's someone watching this video that likes to land Lonely Lodge and go for 3 or 4 kill wins, which is completely fine. I'm sure there's another person watching this video that likes to go tilted and wants to go for that 20 bomb. There's different styles of playing this game, and when it comes down to it, the result always wants to end when playing solo is with a solo victory royale. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. If you guys could smack a like, I would very, very much appreciate that. Let's go ahead and go for 2,000 likes. I know it is a lot to ask for. I would really appreciate if you guys could smash that. That would be amazing. Also, shout out to everyone using the Goblin YT in the item shop. Shout out to you guys. I see you guys in the comments all the time. Shout out to the notification squad commenting really early on this video. I see you guys all the time also. And yeah, I think today is going to be, well, Saturday is going to be the item shop refresh once you guys see this video, and I think that we're going to get some new skins in the item shop today. I don't know for sure, but it's looking that way. So make sure if you're buying the new skins tonight, the Goblin YT, you enter that code in the shop for support a creator. Okay, let's get into this. So this gameplay you're watching is just obviously a nice little solo win. So early, mid, and late. You've heard me talk about these concepts before, but I haven't really broken them down too much. So when you go into a solo match of Fortnite, you need to have a goal or have a plan, and I've talked about this before, of what you want to do, because landing is probably the most important aspect of the game. It's the easiest, but it's the most important, because where you land, you know, configures everything. For example, if a bus is going right over Paradise as the first drop, Paradise is going to be super hot of an area. If the bus is going over from, you know, the factories up to Pleasant Park, Paradise is going to be a super far stretch, and there's going to be way less people there. So you can pick your jump based off of the battle bus and based off of what you want to do. So it's not, you don't just want to go say, oh, I like to go for medium action retail every single time, because on certain buses where the bus is way off to the left and maybe it's a huge stretch to retail, I land there sometimes on my live stream and I'm completely alone, all of retail to myself. So it's all about finding that jump and where you want to go early game. So it's pretty simple early. It comes down to, what do you want out of this game? How many kills do you want? That's pretty much all you have to think about early game, is how much kills do you want and how much loot do you want. So if you want a lot of kills, you want to go to an area with a lot of kills and a lot of loot. Tilted Towers. If you want somewhere that you know, Fatal Fields, you're going to get a lot of loot, maybe 1 to 2 people to fight. Pleasant Park's the same. You're going to get an amazing amount of loot, maybe 2 to 3 people to fight. So there's different areas of the map, and statistically based on where the battle bus is going is where you want to land. Early game strategies are super simple. I'm not going to spend too much on it. You land based on what you want to do. If you land on the outskirts, you're probably just going to farm up and get mats and move in with the storm. If you land for tilted, you're probably going to go for a shotgun and shield and go for action right away. It all depends on what you want to accomplish, and that is early game. I honestly think early game is the #1 contributor to how many kills you get. So someone coming out of Tilted might have 8 kills. Someone coming out of Fatal might have 2 kills. And then either way, it doesn't matter if they both kill 5 people at the end, which you're probably going to do. That's the difference between a 7-kill gameplay and a 12 or 13-kill gameplay or whatever right there. So it all depends on your landing. Early game, no matter where you land, what you want to do is you want to land, and you want to make sure when you're looking around in the sky, once you land, your goal is to get shield and shotgun. And if there's and some materials usually as well. It's not as important if you're in Tilted or somewhere with a lot of buildings, but usually you want materials. And it's always important to make sure you know how many people landed in your area, because you know, okay, if I find a 50 pot right off the bat and 10 people are around me, I'm going to use that 50. If I find a 50 and there's no one there, I'm going to hold that and try to find another one or mini. So that's basically what you have there. Now, mid-game, your goals are pretty simple and self-explanatory. Mid-game is honestly when, early and late game is when people have different strategies. Mid-game, it's always pretty much the same strategy. You just want to optimize everything. Maybe get a couple kills. Everyone wants a couple kills mid-game. Rotate with the storm. Pick up loot on the way, and that's basically what you want to do. If you want to play for kills, I think the way is to move in with the storm mid-game and, you know, basically go towards action, move in with the storm based on where you think the majority of players are going. If you want to play for the win, my suggestion in the mid-game to late game is to go for the weak is to go for the weak side of the zone, or basically rotate early and move in. Mid-game, you're going to, it's honestly a lot of RNG in this game, is a lot of randomness, and especially mid-game, it's going to depend on if you're going to run into people. Thing about mid-game is that is third-party heaven, third-party central, so everyone is, that's honestly the portion where Fortnite has kind of struggled. Early game, people can get action, no problem. You just go to where you want to, you pick your action level, basically. Late game, of course, there's action because everyone wants to win the game, and the Storms move fairly quickly with the updates they've done over the past couple of months. It's sort of changed the game into like a mini sort of blitz. Games don't last as long as they used to do, and because of those Storm changes near the end, right? And that happened maybe 2-3 months ago. But basically, within mid game, it's slow. It's a slow part of the game, and a lot of people are bored. And you want to in mid game make sure that you have the supplies ready for late game. That's the major key. Rather than just hunting for kills, which can be good if you want to go for kills, make sure you have materials. Make sure you have shields. Fighting a person can either make you lose shield or lose the game, or make you, of course, kill them, get all their loot, get that shield, and then go on to win the game. So it's very, very, particular. And in the mid game, my suggestion is watch out for third parties if you're going for solo wins. Try to be the person third partying on the fight, and then you'll get, of course, the most loot. Make sure when you're going into that top 15, top 10, you don't want to just make sure you have 200 health. You want to make sure you have 10 minis, a grenade launcher, a bunch of stuff, because there's people that, say if I land, say I play just for the win. Say I land out on Flesh Factory and I move in, I have a green AR and a green pump. Someone else probably has 10 kills out of Tilted with grenade launcher, chug jug, minis, everything they need, and they're obviously going to have more mats, the bigger advantage. So that's in the mid game. You're basically your choice early game is where you want to land and how you want to play it. Your choice mid game is, do you want to either go for loot the natural way or do the Negan strategy and go for kills and get the loot off of that. So that mid game, it's not as complicated as early or late, or it is complicated, but everyone is sort of trying to do the same goal and trying to survive with maybe adding a couple of kills. Late game, this is where it gets very, very complicated, because late game, in my opinion, is one where I've started to play late games a little bit safer, because this is how I see it. If I've invested 15 or 20 minutes into the gameplay, especially sometimes when I'm playing on my Facebook live stream, check it out, link in the description, almost at 20k followers over there. But basically, like, when I'm playing on stream or just playing for wins, when you've invested 15 minutes or 20 minutes, you want to get that win, because if I get, 10 kills and I die in second place, I'm probably not going to use that as a YouTube gameplay, right? So I'm thinking about my mindset. However, if I get 9 kills first place, I could probably use that as a YouTube gameplay. So late game is where it really comes down to, you're going to get kills no matter how you play it late game. It's about how many kills you want. You could technically, in that top 15, most people will base up and play on the outskirts. So you could rush those people one by one and try to pick them off to go for, an insane amount of kills late game. But that is just so high risk, high reward, because if you die, that whole gameplay is basically a waste, because you're not going to get that. It's not a waste of time, because you probably had fun, got some cool kills, got some score, blah, 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 did some challenges. But, if you're playing for the win, it's kind of a waste, because you don't get that solo victory, the victory royale. So basically, late game is, how do you want to play it? And in my opinion, I like to base up when you're around top 7 or 5. That's when I'll usually just be like, okay, at this point, I don't want to choke. I'm going to base up and basically build a 1x1. You always want to use 1x1s and not natural cover, or you combine a 1x1 on top of the mountain, which is great. Build it about 4 stories high. And then in late game now, a key is also to make sure you're rotating early, especially, and I'm going to say this key, you guys better remember this, because this is one that gets me killed, gets everyone killed. When there's mountains involved or obstacles involved, when you have to make that rotation, make sure you're going early, because late game the storm is hitting for 5, if not 10 already. It hits for 10 at the end. So you get caught in the storm for a couple of seconds, that could ruin your whole game, make you weaker and make them be able to kill you with maybe one headshot of the heavy or something, or a double barrel, which people are going to have late game. Late game, you want to make sure you're rotating early, you're building up a base, and a major key, something that I've been doing, is if you have been playing aggro, you will have some metal. You usually have a couple hundred metal if you have a decent amount of kills. Build your final base with metal, because those things are so, rockets and explosives, dynamites, all that stuff is so strong right now, but metal bases are super duper hard to take down, and it takes like 20 or 25 seconds for it to be fully built. But once it's fully built, you are completely good there, and that's definitely something that I would say is a major key, is making sure that you're building up your base. If you do have metal available, try to use that. If not, it's all good. But basically, rotating early is a key late game, and be shooting at people from the top of your base. Another thing is, when you are going to peek out and shoot at people from the top of a base, you're very visible and a lot of people are low ground warriors late game, which isn't the right strategy, but there's a lot of people like to, you know, maybe hide in a bush or hide in low ground, you know, beside a building and try to snipe you when you peek that. And that's why I recommend what I call the three wall protection. I just made up that name completely right now. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it's basically where you're in a 1-by-1, you want to poke out, but you don't want to be exposed from every side, so you put a wall on your left, your back, and your right, and then you look out in the front, and of course you can only be hit on that side. The benefit to that is you won't be hit from the other side. You'll notice if people are shooting at you from the other side. You won't get sniped from the other side. The downside is they could, you basically give the enemies a backboard to RPG or grenade launcher in, but that very, very rarely happens, and you can usually react and either dip out of the base and catch yourself, or block off the RPGs are pretty easy. The grenade launchers usually a dip and get out. RPG, it's pretty much simple. You put up a wall, and then, you know, let it basically destroy your base and catch you. So that's basically the tips and tricks for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy early, mid, and late. Play it based on what you want to accomplish, and those are some tips on how to figure out what you want out of the game and how to get it. Thanks for watching, guys. Smack a like on this video if you guys could. Use my code TheGoblinYT, support a creator in the item shop, and check out some of my other videos. And that's about it, guys. I'm out. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.